Thank you, Madam President. I'll be pretty brief. I won't go into too many particulars, but I'm really concerned about this budget and the previous few. We've created a really such a problem. You know, I don't know where the tipping point is. I mean, I know this is going to pass, and I know none of our amendments would pass. This is all done already, but I just want to tell you, you know, I've been here a long time, and I really am concerned about the future, not only of the state, but of this country. When you borrow money for operating expenses, that's a problem. There's no business in the world who can do that. You know, we just can't sustain this. It's unsustainable. And I do realize it's hard to cut. I mean, I understand that each of these programs has a constituency, and they're well-intentioned, and a lot of them are good. But what good does it do the population of the state of Connecticut if you can't sustain it? I mean, that's the problem. And I know that a lot of people sitting here, no matter which party, understand that. A lot of smart people here. I'm proud to serve here, and you know, I look at the resumes of folks that serve here. Very impressive when you look in the book from the CBIA. So I know everybody's pretty smart, but we've created a state where, you know, it's last or second to last place to retire in. Got the highest per capita debt in the nation, so you're hitting the population on both ends. You're hitting the older people. They can't afford to live here to retire. The younger ones are going to inherit this huge debt. Any of you got kids or grandkids coming out of college, you know they can't get jobs. You know, there's nothing out there. Unless they're specialized, I mean, unless they're a chemical engineer perhaps, or somebody with a real specialized training, they might be able to get a job in Connecticut. But for the rest, liberal arts graduates, we had a young gal who worked for us during the session, Senate Republicans. I know her parents, honor roll graduate from Boston University, high honors, graduated in December, no job. She waitresses at Bartucci's. Not a bad thing. I mean, waitressing. She works hard. She makes decent money, but she's a well-educated young woman, very smart. She can't find an opportunity in our state. How long will she stay here if she doesn't get a job that meets her education? So those are the kind of concerns I have. You know, even our little family business, we've done fine. My daughter's been running it for the last 7 years pretty much by herself. But I still, when I don't come up here, I still go in there. I have to have a place to hang my hat. And I don't even water the plants anymore. They have somebody else doing that. But anyway, I still go in. And at the end of the year, you know, she's quite computerized like all these young kids. And she was telling me a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, you know, she went through the customers we lost. These are mostly residential, personal lines. We're insurance business, so they're homeowners, auto customers. Half of them moved from the state of Connecticut. So we didn't lose them to competition. We lost them because they no longer live here. And I know, you all know, Republican or Democrat, people who are leaving this state, you know it's not anecdotal stories. All you got to do is look at the flat line on population over the last 20 years. So I'm not blaming this particular administration totally. This has been a trend. To be honest, I'd say it's gotten worse lately, but it's been a trend over a lot of years. It's just become an extremely difficult place to work, live, and raise your family. It's really that simple, and people are, you know, just they're leaving. I was at a fundraiser yesterday for Penny Bacchiacchi. A lot of you know she's putting her oar in the water for lieutenant governor, and we had a nice crowd. And I said pretty much what I'm saying here, that Nancy knows Penny. So, you know, so they basically, I said the same thing I said here. And so one attorney came up to me after, a local guy. He's lived in Stafford for 4 generations. He said, "Boy, whenever I hear you talk, it makes me want to throw up." And I said, "Well, gee, that's not too complimentary, Wendell." But he's talking about what I had to say about all the problems Connecticut faces. And what he ended up telling me is that he's leaving here as soon as he retires. He just can't afford to stay here. Well, he could. I mean, he could afford to stay here, but he'd have to change his lifestyle. And he doesn't want to do that. So he's looking at the Carolinas. So, I mean, this is a good person. This is somebody who would benefit our community with his volunteer service. He's already a strong volunteer. I'm sure his father's elderly. I'm sure as soon as his father passes, he'll retire and he'll be gone. Not an uncommon story. So, and then I'll just finish up telling you, I was at a meeting. I'm co-chairman of manufacturing caucus with Senator LeBeau, and I'm bringing him in. He's not going to like it, but it's true. He was there with me, and we went over to Pitkin Street, and they had about 22 manufacturers there from across Connecticut, all employed over 100 people, some 200. And one of the gentlemen told a story about he had a supplier or a customer in England or Germany, I can't remember, and they were thinking of moving to the United States. And he said, "Great. Oh, where?" He said, "Well, take a look at Connecticut." And they said, No, we're not looking at Connecticut. We're looking at the Carolinas." So he said, "Why?" "Well, they work with UTC, and UTC said ABC. So was UTC saying ABC, any place but Connecticut? Our biggest private employer telling people that contract with them, don't come here." Now, as far as I know, we give UTC quite a bit of money over the years, but they're not happy. And as you know, that was in the paper a while back. I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, there was a email that was leaked or somehow got into current where UTC top executive said just that, any place but Connecticut. So apparently he's not the sole guy saying this in the company. Apparently this is a mantra. I don't know about you, but that caused me great concern. So I guess, I know the outcome. I've been here long enough to know. But I just want this circle to know that I'm concerned about it. I hope that in the near future we get serious about budgeting. I know there's a tipping point. I just don't know where it is. But I'm afraid Connecticut is very, very close. Thank you, Madam President.
Will you remark?